see wet toilet tissue sales really concentrated in four key Central European countries: Germany, Austria, Switzerland and Netherlands. They account for about 65% of Western European wet toilet tissue sales. Why they're so concentrated there? Well, we could look north, we could look at the Scandinavian countries and say that they're probably maybe a little bit more environmentally focused than many consumers in Western Europe, so don't buy into it. You see on the western fringe of Europe, UK and Ireland, consumers are a little bit more perhaps reserved, maybe even inhibited to use this product. And in Southern Europe, we've got quite a well-embedded BD culture. So we've seen sales really take off in Central Europe and not much further beyond that. So transplant this over to North America. We've got a North American market for tissue which is fairly flat. But if North Americans consume more like Central Europeans for wet toilet tissue, household penetration rate of say around 10%, we could see that the market might be worth 850, even pushing $1 billion US. So we'd say that generally, why North American consumers or Western Europeans away from the Central European belt really sort of stayed away from wet toilet tissue. And I would say that for the most part, they've really associated wet toilet tissue with children. So we've got brands like Can Do from Procter & Gamble, which is associated with toddlers. I'd also say that consumers don't have a lot of education. They don't know whether this should be used in conjunction with dry toilet tissue or as a replacement for. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's a lot of work to do in terms of consumer education. But also consumers may think that if they leave these products out in their bathroom, they may sort of indicate they've got some sort of health problem. They may also think they've spent a lot of money recently on renovating their bathrooms and the packaging doesn't look very good. And I would certainly say the packaging within this category isn't great, so really a good area for the industry to focus on for future development. So this means that generally consumers will lock this product away in the bathroom cabinet, which almost inevitably means that when they need to use it, it's out of reach. Which means when they do come around to using it, it's probably going to be dried out, it gets put in the bin, and it's not going to be a purchasing decision they want to make again in the future. So the industry needs to get out of this catch-22. How we would suggest doing that? We'd say, generally speaking, that most consumer surveys report that consumers think of packaging as being the least important part of their decision-making when buying a particular product or brand. What I'm going to suggest is for wet toilet tissue, the actually should be inverted. It's actually the most important. As consumers lock this product away, manufacturers need to find a way of encouraging consumers to get them out from in the cupboard or under the counter, get it out in the open and stop hiding it away. How can they do this? Well, Cottonelle, which is a Kimberly-Clark brand, have introduced the Cottonelle hook, which is designed to try and get the wet tissue product on the wall next to where consumers need it. And they've also backed this with quite a significant advertising campaign in North America to try and encourage consumers to display the product, but also to trial it. We've also seen in Australasia that Kimberly-Clark have been giving away free trials within public toilets, and that sort of plays well with consumers because they really want to invest $4 or $5 in a product they've never tried. Sampling's a really good avenue to try and encourage consumers into this particular side of the industry. But generally speaking, I would say over the medium term that this product's got a lot of good opportunities ahead of it. I think it focuses on hygiene and cleanliness, which is always going to sit well with consumers, and it won't cannibalize existing dry toilet tissue sales. So with the right investment in terms of packaging and consumer education, we really see a bright future for wet tissue, not just in North America, but across the developed markets.